Welcome back to Open, everyone. Our next guest is an actress who identifies herself as an artist that uses her many talents for storytelling. She's an alum from Pace University's Actor Studio Drama School and a producer. She produced her first series in 2017 entitled The Passed Down Project and recently debuted her first solo show, Mama's 19. Here to share more about her career stories and upcoming projects, please welcome actress and producer Javana Mundy. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
So are you one of those that prefers to be referred to as an actor or an actress?
Actor.
You're good with actor.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I like using that term too, but just to be safe, we made it feminine.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a matter of opinion, it's a matter of taste, but,
Yeah.
you know. But that's good to know. So for me, moving forward, we will refer to you as an actor.
Yes.
I love your story, and I just really want to introduce you to our guests, understanding that your background is that of artistry, right? Because most people go into the acting field, and they just go into the acting field to become famous.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not, for me, that's not why I got into it. I mean, initially I started out in fashion, actually. I worked in fashion. I worked for a multitude of different fashion houses, one of them being Billionaire Boys Club and Ice Cream by Pharrell Williams. And I kind of built a network of people. I was surrounded by artists, and prior to me going into fashion, I was always performing. So it was just an opportunity. New York created that ground for me to just want to go for it. So I went back and I got my MFA, and that's how I really started in the whole thing. But I wanted to always be an artist and a storyteller. That's really what it's about for me.
I love it, right? And so that's really where the craft is born.
Yeah.
It's born from being a storyteller, because everybody's telling a story in whatever respective field they choose to do so. It's just a consciousness and understanding that this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Right? And then there's the ones that actually write it.
Exactly. There is. Being a person of color, especially a Black woman of color, it's very important to write our stories. There wasn't that many stories being told when I got into the field. Still, we have a long way to go, but it was really important to me that I became a part of that narrative and told some of these stories. I mean, I was looking for work. And there's only but so many roles out there, so.
I get you. I get you more than you understand, than you even know, because we're just getting to know each other. But there's that aspect of being at the mercy of someone casting you, be it a director, a casting director, and a producer, right?
Right.
And so what you did is you created your own work. And possibly work for other individuals, right? Because once you write it, then that's it. There's the opportunity. Of course, you got to find the funding and the producing and and all that other great stuff. But at least the groundwork has been laid out.
Right, and that's where Passed Down Project initially came from. I started that in the beginning. I wanted to figure out, okay, how do I get into production? How do I get into writing? How do I work with different directors and writers? And so I wanted to work with people of color. So I was like, let me just create something. Let me create a platform, and I'll start from there. And we'll tell these narratives that aren't being told. We'll tell new storytelling, and we'll kind of work from there. And then along the way, I realized I wanted to kind of hone in on what is my story and, you know, tell that narrative too. So that's how I went into creating Mama's 19.
Right, I was going to ask you, that title's interesting. What's the deal? Who's Mama's 19? And
So Mama's 19 started, basically I found these works that were published works that were written by my mother in my grandmother's basement when she passed away. And I always heard from the family she was an amazing writer. My mother stopped writing when she had me. She felt like, you know, that it was a different time, and she felt like that's what she needed to do. She needed to take care of me, and that was it. And I found that she was extremely talented, and I wanted to encourage her artist side because she stopped all of that for me, which to this day, you know.
Honey. No, thank you for just being with it, because it's so beautiful that you honor her.
That was what it was. It was just,
beautiful.
it was an ode to my family, to my ancestors, to my mother. And I wanted to get her back writing. So that's how this whole story came about. And through that, I learned so much about my family and my history. I'm still learning. It's still actually being workshopped, and I plan to put it up next year.
Well,
So,
congratulations to you.
thank you.
I'm sure she is shining so much light upon you right about now.
Oh, my mom is here. She's alive.
Oh, I'm like, wait,
She's
you
alive.
Wait,
She's
who
alive.
passed away?
My grandmother.
Oh, your
passed away.
grandmother,
My grandmother passed
Oh,
away.
let me get that right. Well, I see your mom. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh.
But within the narrative too, it's about Black women and it's about Black mothers and just in general the trauma that comes from slavery and the trauma that comes from the history of our country. So that's really what I wanted to talk about, and I kind of dove into mental health, wellness.
That's our biggest crisis in the United States.
Yeah.
That's what I say to everybody.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yes.
And so I wanted to start creating these conversations, and this was my way of connecting with that.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Good for you, because you also bring in that social consciousness into your work. And so before we go, let's talk about your upcoming projects.
Sure. I'm actually going to be in a new series for Brick TV called Sauce.
Nice.
I'll be playing the character Alyssa. It's actually going to be showing at the Hip Hop Film Festival coming up in August. I'm in a new play coming out called Stillbirth. It's a play about just all the different things that women go through in pregnancy loss. So I'll be working with that play at the Rogue Theater Festival, and also the Dream Theater Festival, which is also coming up in August. And I'll just be in the works of developing more work. I'm working on my pilot for Morbid Mo, which is a show that I've developed about a quirky little girl from the city who comes from foster care, because I worked in foster care too. So
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you for bringing it here to our viewers.
Of course.
Yeah, no, and I just want to acknowledge you for choosing the path of just shedding light on mental health, because for me, mental health is a topic that we need to keep having conversations about in all forms.
Conversation and action.
And action, right, absolutely, action. But when you're shedding it, when you're presenting it in that therapeutic form of being entertained, you're actually healing people, whether they realize it or not. And so let's just keep having that conversation.
Definitely.
You keep producing the work that you're doing, sister. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. Once again, you guys, for more on Javana's upcoming projects, please make sure to visit her website at javanamundy.com. All right, stay tuned, you guys. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.